Hey all, this is like a little spontaneous video, but I challenge you to watch all of it because I have a message. I was asked the other day by someone who didn't know about SYNGAP1 what it was like, or what I thought it was like, or what I experienced. So I want you to think about some of these things and how I put it to this person, because the comment was made, well, my child doesn't look sick. Well, no, he doesn't look sick. He doesn't look like anything's wrong with him. He looks like a regular 10-year-old little boy by just looking at him. But this is what the lack of having SYNGAP1 protein in your brain does to a person when you're only born with a chromosome that only makes half the protein. If you have a chromosome that doesn't work, this protein is lethal. So that means that children very, very early, once after they're born, die. I want you to imagine your brain in constant confusion. Imagine you cannot focus on anything around you because it is so overwhelming. Imagine that your brain picks up a place and a location that you're at, and then all of a sudden turns off like a light switch. And then you wake up somewhere else, like there is a loss of time and space. I want you to imagine you never ever being able to sleep at night. Your brain can't sleep. Your brain doesn't hit REM sleep to repair itself at night. Your brain is in constant firing mode. Can you imagine not being able to talk and express yourself? Telling people whether or not you're happy, sad, frustrated, or you just want to tell somebody what you know. Can you imagine not being able to take care of yourself? Put on a shirt, brush your teeth, because the motor coordination and the control in your mind trying to tell your body to do something it won't. Can you imagine being just enough aware of what's going on around you that you know you want to be there and be able to do other things that other people are doing, but you just can't? Can you imagine not being able to eat the food you might want to eat because the muscles in your face and in your mouth don't work? And you can't make words. Can you imagine not being able to walk into a place because the sounds and the sights and the lights are just too overwhelming to be able to tolerate? Can you imagine not being able to feel pain? Where you touch a hot stove and your brain, not because you don't feel it, because your brain can't tell your hand or your body to move away from it, so you burn and you blister. Can you imagine just the constant, just unable to comprehend what's going on around you, and just the confusion, the meltdowns, the things that you probably know you want to do, but you just can't? Can you imagine the research that goes on with this protein? Can you imagine possibly these children, the 250 that have been identified around the world, could possibly help millions? Millions with schizophrenia, millions with bipolar, millions with obsessional compulsive disorder, millions with sensory perception disorder, autism spectrum disorders, and most importantly, epilepsy. Can you imagine be walking along the street and falling for no reason because your brain decided it didn't want to work anymore? This is what our children go through every single day of their lives. And can you imagine living that for the rest of yours? Well, I hope that you can put yourself in these children's shoes and in their minds. And I hope that I gave you a little bit of a description of what these children go through every single day of their lives, and that they can't remember, they can't learn like you and me. And honestly, I can't just stand back and watch this happen to people. That's why I have stepped up to sacrifice a lot. And many people behind me have sacrificed a lot to help get the research needed off the ground. So I challenge you to research and to look around you and find out what you can do to help and how you can help. And look at the children that have this and think about how possibly all the things that we are doing could help others. And it's all about quality of life. I can't sit back and not do what I can to help improve the quality of life of another human being walking on this planet. Thanks for your attention. I know this video was long, but I hope it hits. I hope it hits your heart. And I'm never stopping.